Welcome. My name is Robin Elander, Executive Director for Downtown Santa Barbara. Welcome to our next show with the Downtown Santa Barbara Spotlight, where we highlight different business owners each week on different topics. This week is all about Burger Week. So we're so excited to chat with some local business owners, restaurant owners. But first, I want to introduce my favorite partner, host in crime from the Independent. This is a collaborative series between Downtown Santa Barbara and the Santa Barbara Independent. And Matt Kettmann is the senior editor at the Santa Barbara Independent. He's worked there since '99 and covered a wide range of topics. Today, he focuses mostly on food and drink, as well as special projects for the paper. He's also a contributing editor to Wine Enthusiast magazine, where he reviews more than 200 wines every month. And his first book, Vines and Vision, Winemakers of Santa Barbara, has come out recently. So thank you so much for hosting again with me, Matt, and I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Robin. As she said, I am an editor at the Independent, been there since '99, a long time, and in most recent years I've been focusing a lot on food and wine. So I've been kind of the natural go-to host for all of these sessions that relate to food and wine. And this week we're into Burger Week, which was something we started at the Independent back in 2017 as a way to celebrate, great hamburgers all around the area. It's kind of a fun way to get the community involved in eating and posting their pictures on Instagram and just kind of supporting local business and getting, a great burger for only $7, which is hard to do these days. I'm sure hard for these people to serve for us at that price too. So we'll get into that as well. Today we have a great show. We have three kind of legendary establishments in the downtown scene and their proprietors and managers. We have Bob Stout, who is probably best known as the man behind the Wildcat Lounge, but a few years ago they opened the Little Kitchen, which is a restaurant off to the side there, and they're participating in Burger Week with an actual hamburger with a bunch of great fixins on it that we write about in this week's paper. We also have Ferro from Kyle's Kitchen, which started was kind of the sister restaurant to what started years ago, Silver Greens, and so he'll tell us about that evolution. And Kyle's Kitchen is actually serving a crispy chicken sandwich for Burger Week. We're very open in our burger allowances when it comes to Burger Week. So Jay's going to tell us about what Kyle's Kitchen is doing. And then Clay Adam he's a district manager for the Natural Cafe. And as we all know, Natural Cafe was a leader early on in serving healthy, organic and natural foods. And they serve, for Burger Week, they're serving the Hungry Planet burger, which is not meat at all, but does a pretty good job of serving as meat for Burger Week. So what we get to do as writers at the Independent for Burger Week, one of the deals as part of it is if you're a participating restaurant, our writers will go out, you give us a burger and we write about it. So I was able to eat 2 burgers in the past week to taste them, neither of these ones, although I have had all of these except for the Little Kitchen one, but I'll have to get out and get that. So please participate in Burger Week, and we're going to dive in here and hear a little bit about it and hear about these establishments, and also hear, as we have through all these sessions, what they've been doing through COVID to survive and in some ways even thrive. So let's start with Bob Stout here and the Wildcat Lounge. He's got one, maybe the longest running business. Maybe Silver Greens actually even predates Wildcat, but you're also serving a hamburger full of beef. So let's start with you, Bob. Tell us a little bit about your background as a business owner in Santa Barbara. Tell us a little about the Wildcat, which is kind of a landmark when it comes to downtown Santa Barbara's evening scene. And then tell us about the Little Kitchen and what you guys are doing for Burger Week.
Sure. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Robin. Really appreciate and like this show that you put on to a lot of people who've been introduced to it. And it's a great way to find out about local businesses. Well, I started the Sojourner way back in '78, and oddly enough, right next to us was what was the precursor to Natural Cafe. I can't think of the name of it, but at any rate, that's where Ellie then took that over. So kind of saw the beginning of that. Sojourner was kind of a natural foods place to hang out. Then I did Zello, which was on State Street. It was a Pasta Tuesday. I remember we had Pasta Tuesday. That was really famous. And then we were a nightclub at night. Then I went on to do the Wildcat, which I still have, and Blue Agave. And so anyway, we started Little Kitchen with one of my bartenders and cocktail waitresses who ended up going to Berkeley and deciding she didn't want to use her master's degree in psychology. Well, but she ended up doing that exactly because she then went to City College, Grace Austin, she's my partner. And Grace went to City College and went through the culinary school. So she's pretty well versed in all things restaurant, having a psychology degree, as I'm sure these other folks on the call can attest to. So Little Kitchen is just I'm here now. It's just a 1,200 square foot restaurant next to the Wildcat, independently operated. And like I said, I've got partners, and Grace is the managing chef. She's on her way back from a short break up north. And I wish she was here to talk about it because she really runs things and she's amazing. We have a parklet out front. We were one of the first parklets. I think my friends at Savoy Deli beat us by 2 hours, which I'm still a little bit sore about. But we have a parklet. We also have seating outside. We took part of the Wildcat patio. And the neat thing now is since bars, a lot of people don't know this, bars can be open now, but you have to contract with a food service supplier. So naturally, since we have the Wildcat, we can serve food out behind the Wildcat. And that's been really neat because the Wildcat transformed from, what we're known for, the busy nightclub, to really an outdoor lounge. And it's really a delightful experience to sit out there. We've got fire pits and a lot of heaters, and it's just great. So anyway, you come to the Little Kitchen.
Are you running Little Kitchen food out back there then?
Yeah, so you can get anything off the Little Kitchen menu during dinner hours. And then late night, we have a special menu available out there. So if you want to come in at 5 to 9 p.m. any night and get full menu off Little Kitchen, not just the burgers, you can. We'll just bring it out there. Or you can sit in Little Kitchen and have dinner, or not inside right now, but we've got 2 patios. So it's really kind of, I think everybody here knows we've had to react on the fly, and it's just been crazy. And then the battle for propane tanks and umbrellas, it's just been nuts. So
and so when you transitioned into, or not transitioned, added the Little Kitchen as next door to the Wildcat, you come from a background of food service, so it wasn't anything new to you to have a food operation. Were you reluctant at all to get back into food? I mean, was it just easier running a nightclub, or
no, I would never say that, but I would say that I was really missing it. I think the funny thing, the first or second night we were open, well, the draw for me was I had a great partner who was going to be the managing partner, and I'm here every day. So, I'm the repairman, I'm the fix-it guy. But just bussing tables after not doing it for a long time was really kind of a stress reliever compared to maybe being in a nightclub setting at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. It was fun, and I really enjoy the camaraderie. We have 2 other partners too, and just getting together and trying to make it go. Would I have done it just as an economic venture and without partners? No, I wouldn't have done that. It's too tough. But I remember the first week we were open, I think I came over here, and after having a nightclub, and not having 21 people under 21 in, I was bussing a table and I heard a baby cry, and I freaked out. I just, wait a minute, there's a kid in here. And immediately I just started laughing. No one knew what I was laughing about, but it was just, having a kid here and getting a high chair. I was just like, wait, is this really happening? So yeah, I get back into it.
Right. And how do you describe the food of Little Kitchen, aside from the burgers? What do you guys serve?
Right. We came along and really monikered ourselves as a modern comfort food. So our chicken tikka masala, and we want to be a neighborhood cafe. So our prices are really, really reasonable. You can get entrees for, $11 to $15 and come out pretty full. So we've got chicken tikka masala. We've got a comfort fried chicken that's, fried chicken and with mashed potatoes, gravy and Brussels sprouts. We've got authentic Swedish meatballs because Grace is Swedish background. And then we get into some healthier stuff. In our burgers are really popular, but we also do an Impossible burger that's vegan all the way through, and vegan soy cheese with vegan mayo, and that's really popular. But our classic LK burger is probably our best seller. as you would imagine it, for $7, just a great deal. We also are going to offer our fig burger, which is probably one of our more popular burgers, fig, arugula, goat cheese. We're going to offer that for $2 more. And I think our French fries are, I hate to say this in front of fellow restaurateurs, but probably because I eat too many of them, I think our French fries are some of the best in town.
Yeah, our writer, Selena Garcia, who got to eat the LK burger, she goes on about the fries too at the end, and she loved the burger as well. So, and that you're doing for $7, which is, we don't have to get into tons of the details of this, but like, is this the same burger you're serving all the time? You just lower the price for this promotion? Is there a way to make it a smaller burger so you're not like losing money on the deal, or how do you guys strategize that when it comes to a promotion like this?
Well, for us, it's the same exact burger. We're just selling the little kitchen burger for $7 without fries, and we're doing it for to go and takeout, but we're not doing it for delivery. So, like I said, 2 years ago, like you said, 2 years ago, we were just really a lot of people coming in for it. A lot of people just getting a burger. Some people would come in and get a burger and a beer. Some people would just get the burger, but we're just happy to do it. I think it's a great time to do it because we've all taken a hit. A lot of people on unemployment, a lot of people out of work, some people doing great, some people not. And to have a deal like this, I think just gives everybody a breath of fresh air and a chance to get out of the house.
Right, great. Well, thank you, Bob. We'll come back to you to talk a little bit more about your hopes for the future and all that. But let's go to Jay Ferro now with Kyle's Kitchen. Jay, I know of I know of Silver Greens because I went to UCSB back in the 90s, and Silver Greens opened in the middle of Isla Vista as this kind of like mecca of places to eat where you didn't feel 100 pounds after leaving. It was healthy food, it was salads, and I ate there all the time actually. And then Silver Greens grew into multiple locations, and then the Kyle's Kitchen concept came around, named after Jay's son. I don't know, Jay, take it away from me and tell us a little bit more details of that very vague story I told, and then we can talk about what you're serving and why you're serving a fried chicken during Burger Week.
All right. Well, hey, that was already a good intro. I don't know if I have anything else to add to that thing.
Well, when did Silver Greens start?
You dated us. You were right on. It started in '95. I had just graduated UCSB, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, like many others there, and just had that entrepreneurial sort of personality where I just wanted to try something new. And I had the time, I didn't have a family back then. I had the energy, and I thought IV had a gap in the market, right? Like I love my Freebirds and my other burritos and pizza, but I didn't think there's really anything healthy out there. So I started Silver Greens, which back then, Natural Cafe was probably a year or two before that. But that was the healthy options. Maybe Sojourner was around there. And I know Wildcat was doing it, but we were there at night. We weren't there during the day. I don't remember what year Wildcat opened, but yeah, that was a great time. And, learned the restaurant industry from scratch kind of back then. Didn't really have any background or anything. And
so you just jumped in. Sorry, you just jumped in. Like did you work in restaurants leading up to that or anything? Or you just kind of jumped in and figured it out?
Yeah, just jumped in. I mean, I just was like, hey, I think this place needs this. And then you go figure out what this is, and it kind of just evolves. And, back then, there's a lot of salad places now. Like you go to LA or other big cities, there's, tender greens and sweet green. There's a lot of greens out there, but Silver Greens was, I think, the first greens. And, we were dealing with iceberg, romaine, and like red cabbage. That was the mixed greens that I had to deal with back then. And it's come so long from that standpoint. But I did that for a while. We, like you said, we grew it to a second location downtown on Chapala when that opened up maybe 12 or 13 years ago. And I did the software company for about a decade. And after that company was sold, I started Kyle's Kitchen. And that was on Calle Real, the first one out there by Trader Joe's. And it was really inspired by my son, who was born with special needs, Kyle. And we were trying to figure out, it's a time of our life where we had a couple restaurants, we had just done a software company, and I was trying to figure out, gosh, how do I, there a way to, create a for-profit business that I can support my family, but also kind of simultaneously give back to the community? And so the concept just kind of got wrapped around Kyle and the special needs. Our passion is Kyle, our son, right? And he has special needs, and then you get to know the special needs community. And so we've just really built this burger and salad concept around giving back to the special needs community over the last 7 or 8 years. And we started with one, now we have 3. We changed, we changed the Silver Greens downtown on Chapala to a Kyle's Kitchen maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And then we have one on Hollister out by Costco. And then we just most recently changed Silver Greens in Isla Vista to Kyle's. So we have 4 Kyle's. It's a simpler version than Kyle's Kitchen, just a smaller menu, but still focus on burgers and chicken sandwiches and fries and salads and such. So
and your son, your son Kyle seemed like he was really game to be a cheerleader for this place from the get-go too. He's like an active player in it.
Yeah, he is. And the pandemic's been really hard on him. I mean, you don't go just name a restaurant after your son. He needs to have some say in it, right? So we had to spend a lot of time just kind of beforehand. He was 10 years old, so hey, are you game for this, right? Are you gonna, you want to do it? And he hasn't let us down. He just is so passionate about people that he doesn't know how to, he'll give someone a $20 bill back for a $5 change. So don't let him get on register, but he's great with people. He's just the best people person I've ever met. And so, when he's there and we can get back, he's going to love being a host again.
Awesome.
And you would put, and you probably will still do this in the future. Maybe you still do even when people can't really go inside, but you would put up the name of that month's like beneficiary, right? That was kind of how you were doing it. Do you still do that?
Yeah, we do. I mean, if you go into the restaurant, you have sort of, and since we started now, many years now, each month or each quarter, just kind of depends on the situation. We support a different local special needs nonprofit organization, and we try to find out what their needs are. How can we support them? Not only, giving them a portion of our proceeds at the end of the month, we kind of just want to create awareness for these organizations. And sometimes we match up volunteers and other things through that. So, you can imagine over the last 6-7 years, we've gotten to know most every special needs organization, in this community. And it's been wonderful to get to know the community that we live in and are part of, through this.
Right. And was it sad to see the original Silver Greens go? Or, that concept had kind of lived out its life at that point?
It was. 25 years, right? And that's a long time. And, it was one of the ones that, well, here you go. Here's the guy right here.
Kyle.
Hey, I'm talking to the Independent right now.
Hey,
nice
Kyle.
to see you eating a healthy apple. That's good.
That's good. Not a burger.
Yeah, right. Not a burger. He'll probably have that tonight though, or the crispy chicken sandwich we haven't talked about, which we will. Right. But Silver Greens, it was sad. But it was kind of like my son, or my 25-year-old son who was still living at home. It was like, it's time to go. Like, let's go on, do something else. And, because I changed it to a Kyle's, it was an easier transition. We all had probably landlord issues we were battling through this pandemic, right? You don't have all these locations and not have some landlords that are going to be less forgiving. And so we dealt with that, and you put all the factors together and it simplified our lives. Silver Greens was kind of doing its own thing by then. And, whether it's all the different products you're buying or your marketing or your website or your training on your team and developing, like, it was doing one thing and our other stores were doing another. And so it really helped us to sort of simplify our own lives, which I think a lot of us were trying to do during the pandemic, is like use this opportunity to kind of get back to like what's the most important and, simplify. So it was sad, but what's sadder is probably that UCSB students haven't come back quite yet. And so we're looking forward to that being in school, or them being back in school.
So you haven't even really fully been able to test the Kyle's Kitchen appetite in Isla Vista yet?
No, we haven't been able to. And it has a little cannibalization of sales just because we have one out by Hollister that's closer to them. So you're gonna, have a little of that anyway. And then the crispy chicken sandwich is the most popular thing on the IV menu by far. Like, I'll put 4 beef burgers and an Impossible burger, which I would have thought would have had a little more traction, but the crispy chicken is, just dominates out there.
And so that's what you're serving for Burger Week. And why did you guys decide to serve that for Burger Week? Just because that's a popular item?
We launched this thing just a few months ago, and it just took off. It became our #1 selling outside of the classic Kyle. Our crispy chicken sandwich just became the #1 seller. And I've wanted for a long time to put one on the menu, but it's not like making crispy chicken or fried chicken is complicated, but you want to do it right and well. And so it's a process. So we do a whole 24-hour buttermilk brine, ahead of time, and then you hand bread them and fry them. And so, consistency is always a challenge in the restaurant industry. And so we wanted to figure that out with multiple locations and make sure we could do it well. And what we're often known for is our buns. We freshly bake, our brioche buns every morning. And so when you butter one of those, put it on a flat grill and crisp it up, and you put crispy chicken, a few pickles, and, a roasted garlic aioli or a spicy aioli with it, that's where simplicity actually wins, I think. And it's sort of, your Chick-fil-A or your Popeyes, just sort of like an elevated one of those.
Right. Great. Well, that sounds perfect. I'm getting hungry.
I know, I'm getting hungry here too.
Let's go to Clay and talk about Natural Cafe. You guys, Silver Greens was the pioneer in Isla Vista. Natural Cafe has to be considered one of the pioneers for healthy eating certainly this region, if not a larger region. So Clay, tell us a little bit about Natural Cafe and the locations we have here in Santa Barbara. Obviously, we'll focus on the one downtown, but you have others around. And then we can talk about the state of fake meats and how the Healthy Planet Burger is your guys' option for Burger Week.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kelly kind of gave me the crash course on, how we started off back in the day. And yeah, we were next to Sojourner. I think that restaurant Bob was referring to was the Main Squeeze. I think that's where Kelly worked next to Sojourner. So that's kind of how it started.
Sorry to butt in. I actually lived across the street on Santa Barbara Street back in 2000 when the Main Squeeze was still there, but it was kind of going downhill at that point when I had moved in, it feels like. So yeah. They were gone soon after. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no worries. So so we opened up our first restaurant on State Street, the one we're featuring right now. It was May 12th in '93. So we got kind of a quick story from the boss man. And he basically said, opened up on a Friday, and like restaurants, we're just trying to figure it out as we go along, especially when you're opening up a new concept. So he realized the first day they didn't quite have everything figured out. So he decided everyone eats for free. So, he just gave free food away all the first day, and they closed up. And then the next day was Saturday. They opened up, and, he realized soon after that, okay, well, we don't have it figured out yet. More free food. So he got to be kind of known as the spot that served free food. So needless to say, they were probably pretty busy. And then Sunday they closed because that's kind of when they got all their orders in. And then Monday when they reopened, they had a line out the door, and then they were moving and grooving. So ever since then, we've been doing really well and really happy.
So that one on State Street is the original one.
Yeah. So we opened up back in '93. So it was the year I was born, so I wasn't working there, but.
I used to always go to the one in Ventura when I was living and working down there. So that was a regular for me.
No, I love that spot. It's so good. So,
and just for if people haven't been to the Natural Cafe, explain what you guys serve.
Yeah, so we serve healthy living food. A lot of people think, we're the all organic, all vegan style restaurant, but it is just, healthy food at a good price. So, our mission is kind of, you eat good, you feel good, you live good. That's kind of our market that we're going for. So it's really easy to eat there frequently, every day, all day. So it's really good.
And you guys obviously, there's a lot of salads, there's, veggie dishes, there's, sandwiches and stuff like that. When did the and people have served veggie burgers for decades at this point.
Yeah.
But the kind of dawn of what's the right word for fake meat? I'm sure fake meat is not the correct marketing term.
Plant-based protein.
Plant-based, yeah.
Plant-based.
Okay. So
That's a classier way to describe it.
Yeah, that's a classier way. So when did plant-based protein become kind of a bigger part of your guys' menu?
So we've had plant-based burgers for a long time now. We have the Zen burger, which is like a traditional garden burger. We've had the Good Karma burger, which is a fermented soybean tempeh patty. We have a soy burger, which is our natural burger. So I mean, we've had it for a long time, and it's interesting. I was doing my research and looking back at all the veggie burger awards, and I mean, we've won it for as long as I could go back. So it's
we probably created the award for you guys back in the mid 90s.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I was like looking back at all that stuff, and we've just kind of had, like anything, you have to evolve over time, and we saw that there was this big need for plant-based meat tasting burger, and we decided to go with the Hungry Planet. It's a little bit leaner, a little bit more healthy of an option, so we chose to go with that. And if you order off the menu, and for Burger Week, it's vegan through and through, but you wouldn't notice it. You taste it, and it tastes just like meat. It has the meat texture, the meat juice. It's really good.
What's the base on that? Do you know?
You mean for the patty
For the
itself?
Yeah.
It's a soy base.
Soy base.
So I'm not sure exactly what they do to make it taste like meat, but it's soy and plant based. So it's
they succeed.
Yeah.
And then you guys doubled down. It's not just, I mean, you mentioned it, but it's not just a vegan patty. You guys are using vegan cheese and all that sort of stuff too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we use Veganase from Follow Your Heart, which is kind of a company based down in LA that everything they make is vegan. So we use their Veganase. We use Chow vegan cheese, put lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, and yeah.
So I have a funny story. I mentioned it to you guys before the call, but my boss at the paper, one of the main owners of the paper, the editor in chief, Marianne Partridge, she her husband is Jim Poet, who is from the De La Guerra family, and one of the partial owners of Rancho San Julian, which is a big ranch up on the way toward Lompoc, and they're cattle ranchers, and they have been for like 9 generations. So she always pokes fun at fake meat during meetings or whenever it comes up. And I actually, she wanted to throw herself in and do a burger, and I ended up pairing her with your guys' burger. So we got Marianne to eat a vegan burger, and she was a good sport about it. She dug it, I mean, it was good for her. I think she said she might add jalapenos the next time, but you convinced a cattle ranch owning woman that there was a future in plant-based proteins, I guess. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was the same. I grew up on a ranch, and I grew up, eating tri-tip every day, and this burger turned me.
Yeah. Are you still a meat eater, or do you?
Yeah. I'm more of an omnivore. I'll try anything. I'll eat anything, but yeah, I like trying new things and venturing out, and I'll have to stop by these guys' spots and get their burgers as well.
Yeah, and it sounds like that Hungry Planet burger is actually a pretty popular menu item for you guys right now. Yeah,
it is. I mean, ever since we brought it on, I mean, it's our top seller, top selling vegan burger. Yeah, it's one of our highest tickets. So.
Right, and so you're the district manager. So which stores do you oversee?
So I oversee. We have 7 locations. We got one in Santa Maria. We have 3 here in town. One kind of one out near Costco in Goleta. And then we have one La Cumbra, Hitchcock area, State Street, and then down south we have one in Westlake, Moore Park, and Simi Valley. So we're kind of spread out through the 2 counties. And
do you handle the 3 in Santa Barbara, or is your territory bigger?
I handle all 7. Yeah.
All 7. Okay.
I have a counterpart, executive chef Saul. He does a really good job handling the kitchens. I try to focus on the front of house, but I mean, there's always overlap. There's never just one focus on the day. So
right, and while we're talking to you, let's talk about what you guys have done during the pandemic to kind of stay relevant, stay on people's minds. I mean, did that hit you guys pretty hard in the beginning? Were you able to adjust quickly?
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone kind of experienced this when things got shut down the first go around. Everyone was very nervous. You know, people weren't expecting. They didn't know what to expect. So our biggest losses were those first couple months. You know, March and April. Um, you know, and then once things started opening up, we had a nice little bounce back, and ever since then we've been doing just fine. You know, like most folks, we built out a patio on our State Street location, so we have a deck out in the street, and you know, I guess that's one good positive thing to come out of this was, you know, it kind of greenlit a lot of ideas that were kind of in the wings. You know, closing down State Street, I know they've been talking about that for a while, and I guess this whole pandemic just pushed that forward, and it was, yeah, ended up being awesome. Yeah, it's really nice out there. So it's kind of how we're coping with things. Doing a lot of takeout, a lot of phone orders. So
Well, and you were prepared for take. I mean, you guys do takeout. It's a regular part of your business too, right? So you're kind of ready for that, maybe more so than other places.
yeah, it's you know, I always eat in the restaurants when I'm working, and if I decide to go on a day off, I usually eat in the restaurants. But with this whole thing, I've been taking food to go, and I was kind of surprised how well everything keeps. You know, when you think about having a salad or, you know, an entree, you picture it being there like on a plate, but when you get it to go, I'm like, wow, this is held up pretty good.
Right. So what's your favorite menu item? Doesn't have to be the burger, but what's your favorite menu item?
So I always get stuck on the same thing. So right now I really love the gobbler burger. It's our turkey burger. It's just, you know, we hand press them every day, and it's just, it's one of my favorite things. I'll do that. We have a pasta primavera. It's just veggies, cream, and marinara, and it's phenomenal. So I usually stick on one thing for about a week and a half, and then I'll move on to the next one.
How many days a week are you eating Natural Cafe?
Every day. It's even days off. It's becoming a problem for me.
Cool. Well, thank you, Claire.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Jay actually, and then we'll finish a little bit with Bob because I want to hear some nightclubs. This isn't a nightclub session, but I do want to hear a little bit about nightclubs. So Jay, what did you mentioned a little bit about how Isla Vista is not quite open yet, but what, as far as downtown goes, what did you guys do as far with pandemic pivoting? How did you guys adjust? I mean, kind of like Natural Cafe, people are used to getting your stuff to go too, so you have a little bit of an advantage there. But how did you pivot during this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were similar to Clay's and, you know, Kelly's and the Natural Cafe. We're kind of the same price points. We had already had a, you know, good amount of takeout and packaging, and all of that was already part of our business model. You know, places that are more full service, you know, and fine dining were, you know, more shock, trying to figure out what to do, where the experience was more important, right? That's built into the price of their entrees. And when you take the experience away, some of the value goes away. And some of the value goes away with all of us, you know, when you take it, you know, your fries are not going to be hot and crispy when you get them to go. But, you know, we're all in this, we're all doing the same thing. So, you know, for us, it was a challenge. Like, we laid 2/3 of our employees off day one, you know, that after that weekend when sales fell off a cliff and you didn't know if you were going to be able to stay open. I mean, I remember I wrote 2 letters to the staff. One was, you know, everyone's gone, and one, you know, 2/3 of you guys are gone. And, you know, we were able to do the 2/3 and just try to stay open. We split our hours from lunch and dinner, just to try to, you know, figure things out. And then we sort of kind of evolve back as trying to get it as close to normal as possible. And each store has been a little different, or each, you know, location's been different. Downtown in some ways has been opposite of the rest of downtown, because well, personally, I think it's awesome that this promenade's happening on State Street. You know, it's probably long, you know, overdue, and this is what it took. It doesn't necessarily benefit Kyle's Kitchen. And actually, you know, like when that opens up, it's great because everyone knows where to go, right? If you're a tourist, you know what to do. I'm going up and down State Street. And so when it closed down, it's sort of like, what do we do now, right? Where do we go? And we actually got a little busier during that time. But just overall, I think it's great. It's just going to really bring some livelihood back to the downtown community down there. We, initially we focused on like a family meal deal. Like we packaged like lots of places did, right? You're trying to put a little bit higher average ticket, give them a better deal, and get enough food for the whole family. And that was great, really well received. It's not as popular now as it was then, but it still lives on our menu. We simplified the menu a little bit through those times and really kind of built up. Once you lose 2/3 of your staff, now we hired a lot of them back subsequently over the time, but not everyone, right? And so you end up kind of having a slightly different team, slightly different culture. And, with every challenge like this, there's opportunity. And so, we wanted to take the opportunity to, be better after this thing. And I think we're all feeling like, hey, there's a lot of hope here. We're looking forward to dine-in being open, even at 25%. That would be a nice thing for us. And, but overall, Kyle's Kitchen is doing as well as we could ask for, especially not being a big chain, or a drive-through, or some of the ones that were, well positioned for this type of situation. We just sort of are a smaller independent, kind of like a natural cafe where you don't have all these big resources. We spent a lot of infrastructure on digital, growing that, doing an improved digital experience. I have a great marketing manager, Emily, and great operations manager, and Jeremy, and our team, and we all kind of had to put this thing together and make it happen, right? And we did, and we came out with a new app, which was great, and we've got a lot of downloads, great stars, a great, easier experience for ordering. We've done a lot of changes. It's 1 year, right? This is literally, like, you look at your calendar of year-over-year sales. Today, year-over-year sales, like, everything changes. It's like I've been down for the most part for a year, but starting on like Saturday, we're all going to be up year-over-year, right? It's a whole new world of how we're looking at things. So,
right. Have your workers been able to get vaccines? Have they got to their turn in line?
We're all kind of just opened up fairly recently. And right. So I think, we do have some that have gotten it, and others who are trying to, figure out the process and getting in line and getting appointments. But it's great. It seems like now the ball's rolling, there's vaccines. I personally was the first J&J shot in at least the one of the Goleta ones, like on Tuesday. I just randomly got it. I had no idea that I was gonna get this, but they were all. I was like the top 3 moment in my life, because everyone's like, the J&J, you're the first. I'm like, okay, but I appreciate it. It was 1 shot, so
that's nice.
Yeah, I'll take that. My wife, who was the one who got it for me, didn't get that one. She got the other one, so she has to go back in 3 weeks. So, not that anyone's complaining. We've all got our vaccines, so I'm excited. I just want to get things back to whatever the new normal looks like, get people vaccinated and confidence up, and trying to, get our communities and small businesses back to where we all want them to be.
Right, great. Bob, you've got Little Kitchen, you've got Wildcat. Is the Bobcat room not happening for the moment, or is that still kind of have its own area in the back, or?
Right. So the Bobcat room is where you actually enter. It's right next to the Wildcat, which is, again, right next to the Little Kitchen. I consolidated a few years ago. I just got on one block, and I'm really happy just to walk smaller. I don't like getting in my car and going to different locations like these other guys. I quit doing that. Anyway, the Bobcat room is open, and it's a little newer, more upscale lounge, I suppose, than the Wildcat, for those of you who've been there. And of course, without dancing and everything, the Wildcat really is closed. But you walk through the Bobcat room from West Ortega, and you walk straight through. You can get a drink and then take it to the patio. But for the most part, we've had a challenge because we've had to let people at the Wildcat know that you enter on the street and you walk right through to the patio. So our regulars have found out about it, and word spreads pretty quickly. Little Kitchen, you can see it with the parklet, and if you want to sit out back, you just walk straight through. So it's been a challenge, and I think, like the other fellows have said, we've really had to make calls at the line of scrimmage. It's just been crazy. Whether you can open, now we're hearing we may be able to open up 25% on March 23rd. And just think what that's like for someone like Dargan's, who probably Christmas personified is St. Patrick's Day. And now they're finding out.
Oh, geez.
Last year they found out on, what was it, the 16th, I think it was, or the 13th, that they couldn't open on March 17th. And they had, I shouldn't speak for them, many of us had 20, 30, 40 cases of Guinness or even Jameson, just an immense amount. And these other folks, these other guys, I'm sure when you're told you're going to have to close, you've got seafood, you've got meat, you've got everything, cheeses, dairy. I mean, you have to pay to keep that cold, or obviously, you're not going to use it. Like if you're shut down, you have to get rid of it. So it's such a challenge. It's almost like there should be a game show, a reality show, that and we could play or something, because it's been wild, but it's been challenging. I think it has reduced staff, and it has made us all, I think, re-envision what's really important. I think Jay said it earlier really, really well. It's not unusual. I went into Cadario one day to buy a gift certificate, and I saw the owner basically working with the chef and the general manager. And just these kinds of things, as you go around downtown, you look at people, realize just the sacrifices people have had to make to try to keep their businesses going. It's been.
And what is I mean, we're hearing about restaurant updates. I mean, are they not even approaching nightclub predictions at the moment? I mean, or are you getting information as to what that's going to look like in the future?
Mm-hmm. Well, right now, I think we're looking at down the road being able to really have, crowded nightclub. I think what several of the places downtown have done, including the Wildcat, I think we've done it really well. We've taken an outdoor area that the city allowed us to expand to, and we've taken 2,000 square feet, and we've just done everything back there. I mean, propane tanks and heaters and fire pits. And so we've really transitioned to more of an outdoor lounge. And I think that's been kind of interesting. It's kind of been, I hate to say relieving, because, we're not making the money that we were. And it's a challenge every month, but it's been interesting after many years in the business, all of a sudden being made to do something completely different. So like I said, it kind of sharpens your brain a little bit.
I mean, when I used to go to the Wildcat with more frequency, I'd go out to the back almost every time anyway. So that's where I'd like to hang out.
Well, you should check out the new extended area. We call it the glitter box, Wildcat. Of course, we have
It's pretty cool.
Nickname I will not say on the air, but kind of rhymes with Kitty. And so we first made the patio out there. It was just an asphalt pavement. We called it the litter box, but then I went out to Home Depot and bought a large piece of AstroTurf, and instantly 10 minutes later it was the glitter box. We're pretty proud of it.
Nice.
You can get food from Little Kitchen and sit out there, or you can eat at Little Kitchen. So it's really kind of brought two of my businesses really together. And even though we operate Little Kitchen separately, there's really a good symbiotic relationship. And it's helped Little Kitchen during these tough times to have people at the Wildcat order food. And they're like, it's great. I mean, we have a Sunday brunch that's really, really fun. And people would go, Sunday brunch at the Wildcat? But if you check out our Instagram, you'll see it's unique. I'll leave it at that.
Cool. Well, I look forward to trying that LK burger there, and Kyle's spicy crispy chicken sandwich. And I've had the Hungry Planet burger at National Cafe, but maybe I'll use this week as a chance to go back and do it again for $7, which is the Independence Burger Week promotion. It goes, I think, March 11th, which is today, to the 17th. So 7 full days. Robin, these guys have answered all my questions. Do we have any from listeners or watchers, viewers, I guess that would be, or any from you?
No questions, just that our listeners are excited to try these burgers. So that's super awesome. And yeah, I'll just talk maybe a little bit about the next show, unless you guys want to share anything else about your business or, what your hopes are for downtown.
Just want everybody to come down to support Burger Week. It's great. It's really nice to see people back out. And as we get vaccinated, I think our hopes are a lot higher than they were a year ago.
Yeah, and I'll echo that with what Bob said. You guys have been doing it for 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, I remember, I think we've been doing it the whole time, Burger Week, that is. And so thanks for keeping it up. And, you know, we got to bring it back and get back to normal. So I appreciate it, Matt, and for having us on.
Well, thanks so much, gentlemen, for all you're doing to, you know, continue to be one of these places that everybody want to keeps coming back to, and supporting downtown, and really just especially Jay for your positive mission, Clay for keeping us healthy, and Bob for making sure our community has a little bit more fun. So I just want to share a little bit about what we're going to be talking about next week. So we'll be back at 3 o'clock next Thursday on the 18th, and we're going to actually be talking about animals. So friendly pets and wild paws. We have a couple guests on the show. One is Care for Paws, a local nonprofit, Christopher Harris. And we're going to be speaking also to Catalina Esteves with cat therapy. If you haven't been to cat therapy downtown, it is a lot of fun. A great place to just sit and hang out with cats and relieve your stress. And then we also have Rich Block from the Santa Barbara Zoo. So lots of good stuff coming up each week. If you haven't checked out our website at downtownsantabarbara.org, you can find all of these shows. They've all been recorded. Lots of good insights here. And then also you can find out about all kinds of different businesses downtown in all the different categories, as well as on our Facebook page and our Instagram. So keep supporting local, and we will see you guys all next time. Thank you. Oh, there he is. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.